If you're doing these 5 things, you'll feel productive, you'll feel disciplined, and you'll even feel that you are doing YouTube the right way. But your channel will stay small. The reason is simple. These are good habits that optimize comfort and control, but not growth. And I'm not saying this like some YouTube guru who has it all figured out, because I'm still early too. But that's exactly why this matters. These are the traps that keep small creators stuck for years, because they look like discipline on the outside while quietly killing output and learning on the inside. Okay, let's start with the first one, because it's the most common and it sounds the most responsible. Uploading on a rigid schedule, no matter what. And that feels like discipline, because it gives you certainty and a sense of progress, but the hidden cost is that you end up publishing even when your video is not that strong. And that creates filler. And filler trains your audience to expect meh content, which makes it harder for them to care when you finally have something amazing. And it also burns out your creative peak, because you're constantly chasing deadlines instead of building momentum. What works better is an ABC standard, where A is a banger you're really proud of, B is a solid video that genuinely still helps, and C is a keep alive video. That's simple but still useful. When you use that standard, you stop forcing uploads that damage your brand, and you start building a library that actually earns trust. The rule I want you to remember is, if it's not at least a B, it doesn't go out. Now, once people try to fix the schedule problem, they usually fall straight into trap number 2, which is over-editing. This one is sneaky, because it looks like quality, and sometimes it even is quality. But editing is infinite, which means there's no natural finish line. So you spend 8 hours on a video with polishing and adding more effects, and actually you could have done it in 90 minutes. So you ship less, you get fewer repetitions, and your instinct never develops. The way out of this is constraints, because constraints force decision, and decisions are what creates output. Set a hard edit budget, like 3 hours. And when the timer ends, you don't polish, you cut. You ask one question over and over again. Does this change clarity and retention? Or am I just decorating the video to feel good about it? If it doesn't increase clarity or retention, it's gone, because your goal is to make the video useful and watchable and not perfect. And if you're not stuck in editing, you're probably stuck in the next one, which is researching the best practices. And you do this instead of shipping repetitions. Research feels like work because it's safe, and it gives you the feeling of progress without the vulnerability of publishing. You watch 10 videos about how to do YouTube right, but what you're really doing is becoming a spectator instead of a creator. The fix is simple but kind of hard. Research is only allowed if it ends with output the same day. One input session is fine, but then you must write a script outline immediately. Because if you didn't produce an outline, you didn't do research, you procrastinated with a better excuse. And this leads straight into habit 4, which is constantly checking analytics. That's where creators start chasing dopamine instead of building skill. Once you're putting work in and you're still not getting results, the temptation is to stare at the scoreboard the whole day. But constantly checking analytics doesn't make you smart, it makes you reactive. Because you start creating for emotional relief instead of the viewer's experience. You change strategy based on tiny fluctuations that mean nothing, and you burn attention on the one thing that you can't control in the short term. A better approach is fixed analytics windows, like twice per week for 20 minutes. And then you track process instead, because process is what you can control. You track how many hooks you tested, how many scripts you finished, and how many videos you have shipped. Because that's the work that actually compounds. Okay, quick one before the last habit, because this is exactly where most creators start guessing. If you want to fix these habits in a way that's measurable, I use a simple template that tracks time and energy, and after 7 days, it becomes painfully obvious what you should cut and what you should double down on. There's a link below and you can make a copy and start using it immediately, because the point is to stop guessing and start seeing patterns. Now the last is the one that hurts most for people like us: building systems. And yes, I just told you about a system I created. But this one I built to be more productive and have the real data where my time goes and where I'm actually falling for one of these 5 traps. This habit hits us especially hard because we like systems and we like structure. And building systems is a good habit until it becomes avoidance. This is the trap where you redesign Notion, you refine workflows, you build templates, and you call it long-term success, but nothing gets published. Systems are supposed to support output, not replace it. So the rule I use now is that 1 hour of systems must earn 3 hours of shipping. If you're building a system that doesn't immediately create more output, it's not a system, it's a distraction. And I mean, the truth is, Notion isn't your business, creating is. So treat systems like a tool and publishing like the job. If you take one thing from this video, it's this. Pick one of these habits you are guilty of and change it this week. If you want the time and energy tracker I mentioned before, it's linked below. And if you use it for 7 days, you will get a clean diagnosis of what's actually killing your momentum. So you can fix one thing at a time and finally start stacking progress. And we see us in the next video.